Hello. Do you know the aggregated revenue of Indian IT industry stands at $180 billion? Indian IT industry has more than 17,000 firms, out of which over 1,000 firms are large firms, with 50 plus delivery locations in India, employing a whopping 4.3 million people. The industry employed more than 2 lakh new hires in the financial year 2020 alone, and it is expected to go further and further every year. That is why it is one of the most sought after industry for the students. Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you, our young audience today in the webinar on what IT industry recruiters look for in a candidate. This is Mudita Bansal, your host for today's session. So if you're looking for an IT job, you're probably wondering what job positions are out there in this field, what are the key skills required for these jobs, and how to catch a recruiter's attention. Let's get the answers to all these questions when we talk to our two esteemed HR leaders on this session today. With great pleasure, I welcome and introduce, first of all, Mr. Sudeep Kundumal. Sudeep Kundumal heads the Human Resources for TCS Banking and Financial Services Unit. In his previous years with TCS, he has played roles in HR and talent acquisition across the globe, including APAC, Europe, and North America. Sudeep has been associated with TCS for over 20 years, with an overall work span of 25 years. He did his master's in human resources management and post-graduation in international business and strategy from University of Amsterdam, Netherlands. Welcome, Mr. Sudeep. Next, I welcome Mr. Shiva Prasad Nanduri. Shiva is the business head at TeamLease Digital. TeamLease Digital is a subsidiary of TeamLease Services Limited, which offers specialized IT staffing services across industries. TeamLease Digital is one of the largest IT staffing service providers, with over 8,000 associates deployed with 100 plus Fortune 500 companies. Mr. Shiva has been into HR and sales with 21 years of experience in IT recruitment. He is a specialist in operations, delivery, vendor management, and P&L management, and is a qualified Six Sigma Black Belt practitioner. Welcome, Mr. Shiva. So I'd like to start with asking a question to Mr. Sudeep here. TCS being one of the biggest and oldest IT company in India, and being here for 20 years now, sir, how is the work environment in an IT company? Please let us
to be part of the session. I know all of you are spoiled of choices and there's so many other webinars happening. If you are here, thank you very much. You prioritize this. And we have a responsibility to make it as useful so that the time that you're spending with us is very important. And Mudita, thank you very much for this opportunity. So on TCS work environment, what can I say? All right. I mean, foremost, this is my third organization, right? And I joined this company 20 years ago. It's always exciting, right? There is so much of excitement in this organization that I have been 20 years. Every time we set a benchmark and then we keep breaking that much ahead of it, and then we set. And to so much so that today TCS is the world's most valued IT services company globally. Right, and that's been at least my experience of the journey in the last 20 years. So if for all of your students, if you have to understand, if anyone has to buy an IT services company, and if IBM, Accenture, TCS, Infosys, Cognizant is in the market, the most priciest and the most expensive one is TCS in simple language, right? And that's purely because of the value. And me having spent that 20 years to be able to see that journey from being a very modest organization to what we are, it's been a phenomenal, and that's what I call excitement, right? And how is that we are able to make this happen? Fundamentally, the culture that we believe is about empowerment, trust, and all of us believing that we are in a startup in this organization, right? The entrepreneurial mindset. So I think these are the work ethos, work culture, and the Tatas I don't have to talk about. Integrity becoming very fundamental and most value. And these are the cornerstones of what TCS is and what we experience day and out in this organization. And as leaders, we promise this to every one of our associates, whom we call employees in the organization, to deliver this through their time they spend with us. So that's how I would describe it, Mohita.
Thank you so much, Sudeep. So empowerment, trust, two key ingredients for a successful individual and a successful organization. Thank you so much for that thought.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about the fresher hiring processes that you follow in your company?
Great. Mohita, foremost, you can call me by name. We are all in the IT world, so absolutely feel free. So, friends, see, I think the IT, the fresher hiring market, at least if you really look at it, TCS as an organization, and like what Mohita would have, and I, in my previous role, was responsible for hiring for India for TCS, and that included predominantly our hiring was from campuses, right? And TCS has always been committed, even during the global financial crisis or any time. Our commitment to university has always been very, very strong, right? And we have always been wanting to committed. So we, for example, we said the first forever again, right? I mean, sometimes you don't really know the first ever integrated university that we had, where we used to get all the students that we hire from across India to Trivandrum, train them, do their initial learning plan, which was a classroom-based training for 3 months, and then deploy them. So TCS has been extensively invested on hiring from campus, right? And this TCS Ion Academy that you see this video is one more things on the many things that we do from giving back to the foremost stakeholders, because the best of our leaders today have come from people like you, who are there from the best of the universities, right? So that is what makes it, and that's the value that we associate to every of you who are attending and every student out there and an aspiring student. So from a hiring perspective, there are several things that we do. Most relevant for all of you today is that we have a very democratized hiring process. When I say when we have a very democratized hiring process, today TCS has a pan-India test, what we call the TCS National Qualifier Test. And I'm sure your seniors would have done, you would have been aware. You just have to register on this if you're in the final year, and as long as you're doing in your science, you're doing your commerce, because TCS hires people who do commerce, who do science, who do engineering, who do PhD. Yeah, we have opportunities for every other student out there, right? Because the type of services that we provide for some of the things. And every one of you register on that portal. And we do this over a period of 1 or 2 days. The last count that we had almost 400,000 students writing that test across India. And then we shortlist a set of students from, and we have a tier-wise category. The top rankers are used to our badge for our R&D wing, and we call them the innovator. And then we have the second rankers in that. It's typically like your JEE exam, right? The next ranking in the top percentile, we hire and make offers for those students in our digital programs and more of a transformation part of it. And then we have the larger one, the typically again application development and so forth, that we do from the others who get shortlisted. So this is how we do that. But this is just the national one. But then there are several things. If you have been following us on Campus Commune, which is our private social network for students, which we started off almost 10 years ago, right? And we have 1 million students. Many of you must be there, part of it. There we run a lot of competitions. Like today, India's largest coding competition is called CodeVita. Is run by TCS, right? And you can actually go there, do live programming, and we run competition. Prizes are very attractive, right? But then again, if you are in the top that and you are able to the winners in the top 1,000, we again make you offer. But here, see, we are making a lot of things. So if you are really able to demonstrate, and I'll talk a lot about that, if you're able to actually show skills that you can actually put on use, and like coding program is one, right? And you're able to do, then we actually are very lenient on the eligibility criteria, right? Sometimes even the marks that you have scored in 10, 12 does not matter. You have a gap in your education, doesn't matter. we're fairly flexible. We'll make those leniency, and then we hire you on those skills that you possess, right? So that's the sort of thing. So few things: democratizing, all inclusive, and then actually running a lot of gaming competitions that we've been doing for the last 10, 11 years, and hiring them using that. So we have mobile application, we have ethical hacking. So there are many of that. In the interest of time, I will keep it, but broadly that gives you the gist of what we do from a hiring space, Amrita.
Thank you so much, Sudeep. So NQT, campus hiring, various competitions. I'm so glad that every student out there listening to us in this webinar, he is qualified enough to join TCS in some way or the other. Thank you so much for that. So Shiva, we'll come back to you. Thank you. We're glad that you're back on your video. Shiva, TeamLease Digital is one of the biggest recruiting partners across all sectors. So could you please tell us how how IT recruitment is different from other sectors?
So fundamentally, I mean, first of all, thank you TCS Ayan, Sudeep and Mudita for giving this platform for TeamLease Digital. As far as your question is concerned, because of the large volume of fresher applicants coming or applying for new jobs, technology hiring or IT hiring predominantly is slightly different from the normal hiring that happens. This goes through a lot of R&D process in terms of group discussions. It goes through an aptitude test. It goes through an assessment process. It goes through coding test. It goes to BGV checks and performance metrics. Because what happens is that because of high competition that is there across the fresher segment who are applying, and of late uh, the jobs that are open for all streams of graduates and engineers. So there is no classification in terms of what the organizations are hiring. So I think the hiring process is more or less standard across IT industry. However, coding test, which is long assessment or very strong assessment, what organizations are doing should be mandatory across different organizations.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for that thought. So another seamless transition to the next part of this question, Shiva. So tell us more about the major entry-level roles for freshers in the IT industry, and what are the degree and specializations that could be the primary criteria for becoming eligible for these roles?
Well, like I have said, science stream still hands, ranks number one. Engineering is also a preferred medium in terms of the educational background. But if you ask me, fundamentally, what kind of jobs are available for freshers, it includes basic application developers to front end developers, quality analysts, help desk, tech support, and majority of these are entry roles. And also, if you look at it off late, a lot of organizations, what they are also asking is skill based technology. See, because uh, gone are the days when organizations were looking for a simple Java or a plain vanilla skill. So if you're a T professional, basically where you have a base skill and you have an adjacency of skill, uh, the potential of you getting hired across IT organizations stands much better than your competition.
Okay. So we have a few questions coming in from the audience. Meanwhile, let me take a very interesting question. Kritika is asking, what do you think the young engineering graduates are lacking? Sudeep, maybe you could answer that.
Yeah, I don't think there is anything that a young engineering graduate. I think the youth of the current generation I think they surprise me every time I meet, right? Bubbling with energy, so savvy with technology, right? So savvy with the latest of what is happening in the technology part of it. So I don't think there is anything that is really lacking. What I would say, where we prefer, right? Who are the ones that we really do like, and just to build on what Shiva said, I think a few things that is very, very critical to be a very successful professional is one, you have to not just have knowledge. Knowledge is very, very important, but you need to have skills, because actually skills enables you to do things, right? And and when you are, if you do a very good academics and you score very well, right? And if I'm in a panel, and maybe in my life, I've interviewed lakhs of students, right? So, but I will tell you, if I have to really select, and I have two very compelling same students, one is very good in academic, but one is not very good in academics, but actually I've done projects, taken real life issues, done projects, done even failed, not successful, but at least tried. I would prefer them because it's about getting that skills and getting things done. That's very important, right? So all of you should focus on actually putting things in use, and don't do the same library management in coding and all that thing, right? Try to do something different, fresh, and do that, right? So that's very important. The second thing is not just individual contributors, because today anything in an agile world that we're talking about squads. It's one team effort, right? And how we look at everyone doing that. So how we've been able to work as a part of a team or lead as a part of a team and deliver those projects, right? That's the second very, very critical thing. And third thing, not being too specialized in your life early. It's too early to be very focused on a specialization. Like Shiva alluded to it, T, right? Keep the base broad. You have a lot of life ahead to specialize, right? But I'm telling you, keep your drive broad. If you are talking about coding or you're talking about development or you're doing manufacturing, even if you're doing, you can't just today, if you want, even if I'm talking about IT industry, but forget it. Let's suppose you want to go automobile boom, right? Today, a car is more of software, electronics, and mechanical. It's an interplay of disciplines, right? So how I go beyond my academics and try to do that. So these are very simple. So to summarize, I said do hands-on projects through skills, work as a team, be multidisciplinary, so that you don't really become too specialized. It opens up the options for all of you. That would
Also,
be my.
also just to add to what Sudeep has said, fundamentally what today organizations, because uh, though the graduation holds a very important element of somebody as an entry barrier, but as Sudeep has said, the more skills you are acquainted with, your chances of getting hired uh, is much faster. Second biggest element is that the whole technology stack around the world is evolving every month, every week, every day. If you look at the latest DevOps, the technology skills are far different than what were there 1 year back. So therefore, it's important that, as rightly said by Sudeep, you have a base skill and you have a broader skill. So that is very important for especially youngsters. And it doesn't matter whether you are a BSc graduate or a BA graduate or an engineer graduate. But if you think that you want to survive the long term in the IT industry, it's always better to be a T professional rather than I professional.
Thank you so much, both of you. Very important takeaways. Play the T, create a base, too early to specialize. Excellent. And the tech stack is ever evolving. Thank you so much. So, Shiva, another point of view now. India is a country where about 15 lakh engineering and 4 lakh management students graduate every year. So, being a recruiting partner to so many big companies, can you point out the major filters that you use to take out the cream?
Sure. I mean, Teamlease as an organization, we hire close to about 8,000 freshers every year across different industries, different IT industries. But what normally colleges or organizations prefer is based on the ranking of the colleges and the universities. For example, if I was to do an MBA, probably an IIM would come first, then a Nursing Monji, then a Goa Institute. Or if I'm doing an engineering, probably an IIT would come first, then followed by the REC colleges, or which are now the NIT colleges. So it varies from the ranking of different colleges and universities uh, based on their entry barrier of them getting into those colleges. Then definitely, their academics, especially in the premium colleges, do play a role. But as I have rightly said, it all depends upon the skills. And in terms of uh, basic hygiene check or the interview process, what a candidate goes through, as I've said some time back, it is a group discussion followed by an aptitude test, followed by a communication skill, and basis which we do a shortlisting of the candidate. And for companies, there are also companies like TCS or Accentures of the world who give us a preferred college list, and we go to their colleges we conduct a seminar, we tell about the end customer, we tell about the IT, what privileges will they have, what kind of tech stack they need to have, what kind of communication skills they need to have, what kind of aptitude skills they need to have, and we build a database based on the preferences given by the customer, and accordingly, we aid in the recruitment process. So I think overall, if you look at it, it all depends upon which college you are passing out or graduating from, and also the client preference in terms of the ranking of the college or the university.
Thank you. Thank you so much for throwing light on that. We have another very interesting question from Mona Chaurasia. She says, I have completed my MTech in 2019 from electrical stream, and I want to switch my career to IT sector. I have a keen interest in programming. Kindly guide me about it, how I can enter the IT field now.
Well, the best way to, it's for me or Sudeep?
Yeah, you please carry on, Shiva.
So one of the best way if you've done electronic is to be on the domain of C++, which is evergreen. Because today, if you look at it, in fact, very recently I have written an article. The dearth of C programmers is actually very high in India. We have close to about just 30,000 to 35,000 C programmers. And if you look at the demand side, last 1 year, over close to about 8,000 jobs have been created only in C++ over last 1 year. So therefore, if you are an electronics engineer or electronics domain, it's always better to be on C++ side, which will be green. It will allow you to work with system programming, build competencies on the semiconductor side, and look for a fresh career there.
Thank you. And in fact, a streaming question, maybe Sudeep, you can take this one up. It says, what are the career options in IT sector which do not require coding? So it's a flip question.
Okay, see, first and foremost, don't get away from coding. Okay, don't have a mindset to any of you. See, because coding and knowing some amount of technology comfortable is it's like English. Trust me, it's like language, be it Hindi or whatever, right? It is the language. Today, in any professional job, right, you need some amount of knowledge. For example, I work, so let's assume human resources, right? You may say, okay, what human resources what are you going to do in coding, right? But I can tell you today with Microsoft Office 365, Teams, Power Apps, right? I can simply create a few lines of getting those apps, putting it configured, right? And then writing and actually trying to create a survey or a tool which figures out certain notifications and tracker, right? If I have to do an Excel, I have to write a basic either VLOOKUP or either macros, a little bit of macros to run my queries and do it. So I don't think as we are going and evolving, there is no job that is going to be less of not using technology or some amount of programming, right? In any form. So my request to you is a mindset. Please get away. It is so simple. And today with all these various tools where you can do integrated, just take objects, put them together and you can do that. It's so much easier. But never have this mental block that I want to do it, right? So in every profession, the way all of you are starting your career, right? Because I'm 25 years. When I started, I started with making my attendance in a register with I should pencil and I should draw lines. I don't do that anymore. It's very different, right? So the way the speed with which it's evolving, you all have to be comfortable with technology and some amount of coding. So that is where it is. But yes, there are professions which has far less degrees of things which will vary, but there is nothing, I don't think with a zero, right? And there is some amount of it, and it will start with, say, human resources, even sometimes even business analysis. But even business analysis is typically people who write programming, specs, designs. But in an agile world, you don't even have to do that because they are all in user stories. They are much more real time and faster. So even there, you have to be very closely linked to doing some amount of testing or doing some other UI design or something. So you're looking at a squad, which means everyone is doing the T shape, right? Multiple skills. So that becomes very important. So my thing is, I would encourage all of you to create the mindset of embracing coding into some extent. The degree varies from me, like an HR person, to say maybe I will use 10-15% to someone who's a heavy lifter to 100%, right, in AI or things. So that's how I see it. So in a career that all of you are going to have, every of the roles will have some amount of coding in it. Even that's what I would say, Mudita.
Thank you for inspiring everybody out there. So we'll come back to our questions that we have listed for you. Resume of a candidate. I'm sure it's a very, very important artifact. It creates the first impression about the candidate, right? So what, according to you, are some of the key factors that catch a recruiter's eye? Sudeep.
Okay. Like I said, whenever since we have a very democratic, right? Once you've cleared the test, we know that it doesn't matter which college you have done. You've ranked you, we brought you because you have actually done that test. So which is your score? The things that I will really look at is the type of projects that you have done, the type of certifications that you have done, the type of extracurricular activities as an individual and as a leadership that you have demonstrated in your school, colleges, or things right beyond just academics, and how you're able to organize and do things. So this is what is very important for me: real life skills, putting your knowledge to application, and these sort of skills beyond your basic academics becomes very, very important for me from a selection criteria perspective.
Thank you. Thank you. Shiva, over to you. How important is it for a candidate to research the IT company they are applying into and align themselves with the company goals? Read about it.
Yeah, I mean that's a very interesting question. Today millenniums uh, don't believe in long service, but given the organization like TCS, I was an ex-Tata employee. The longevity of employment is always very, very, very important. So therefore, it's imperative that people do a research in what kind of organization are they joining. They should know more about what kind of business interests the organization is having, what kind of business verticals the organization is having, because basically interviewers, especially in the fresher segment or the student community, would definitely like to know what research he or she has done about the organization that they're joining in, and that also depicts in a way the candidate interest to know about the respective organization that he or she is applying. While, as Sudeep has rightly said, the technology, you clearing the technology or technical rounds is one element of you clearing the interview, but the second most important element is how much you know about the company that you're applying for, what kind of business lines the company is into. A little bit history about the organization will always help and give you an edge than the other students who are applying for the same job.
Thank you, Shiva. So students listening to us, please do read about the company that you're applying for. Please do some basic research work, a homework, and then come over, and I'm sure you will get what you want. Sudeep, next question to you. Every sector is looking for industry-ready freshers from day one. So how should a student ready himself to come to the IT industry? How is the scope for the non-IT students also? Probably you can mention that as well. So any certifications or courses that you can suggest to our viewers to understand this?
Oh, yes. See, I think, yes, considering, right, today, I mean, I'll tell you, I was just giving in the beginning of this program, right? Where I said we used to have students who used to after they graduate, they used to be brought into our campus in Trivandrum, and we used to do 3 months of training. We don't do that anymore, right? Because what we believe is that, like Ion Academy, right? This is one, right? And there are many such similar things where a lot of these contents today, which are very industry relevant. I mean, it happens in your colleges as well. But suppose you are in a remote place of the country and you don't have the right access, and now in the pandemic world, we are all virtual. There is so much of online content that is available for all of us. Please, I mean, and one is TCS Campus Commune. There are channels. If you want to have a career in networking, there is a channel where you have mentors from our company, where you have learning courses. There you could talk to your own seniors or people who are doing different and have interactions with them. You can connect with students with like-minded from across colleges and interact. So please try to leverage this. I know it's good. Social media, Facebook, Instagram is very important, but maybe 15 minutes, 30 minutes in some of these things also as a discipline goes a long way. It does not a lot of time. It's about consistently 10, 15 minutes every day, or even 2 days, but consistently you do. In the last 2, 3 years of your graduation, more than enough. And you do that discipline wise, right? You will get so much informed. You will create so much of network. You will get so much of guidance. And then basis that you do certifications, you participation contest, you take up the right internship opportunity. There is enough to do. And if I were to just restrict to IT industry, right? See, I'm telling you, we don't just look for computer science. It does not. See, and as a TCS, I just want to make it very important. We hire, I'm telling you, doctors, right? Because we are actually partnering with the world's biggest pharma companies in building vaccination and their supply chains and doing post trials for this pandemic. World's best. You name those companies. I don't want to name my customers, but that's now obviously IT person cannot do it. You need doctors who are working with data, and you're doing huge analysis of using that data. You're running regressions. You're doing so much of simulations, and you're actually, I mean, you would have read, right? We actually created the early 5 molecules for vaccination, right? I mean, these are all done by people from biomedical sciences, right? And doing research. So today, an IT industry is not just about coding, please. It is very aligned to a domain, right? And technology is today ingrained into every business, and it is playing a very key enabler to do it. I mean, look at the best of the companies today who is in the Fortune 10. They're all technology enabled companies because technology is changing the way business delivers. And the people companies which adopted technology is the one who actually made through this pandemic, right? Because everything was virtual. So all of you are students, you use them, right? You live through those. So please understand today, hospitals, restaurants, grocery stores, you name it, everything needs technology, right? So there is a technology, what discipline that you do, plus a technology that is there. So there is huge opportunity for every one of you in different part of these industries to do it. But I think you get enlightened saying that, okay, I want to be in telecommunications, right? And what is the opportunity that I can do in telecommunications, but also be into IT? Then you actually are part of that. You connect to your seniors, your mentors, you read, you're part of that communities, that the things that you pick up, and then you get enlightened. So be connected with some of these things, and we stay focused because it's changing too fast. What you started into a second year, maybe not relevant in the third year, right? So stay connected and keep with the flow, and you will always remain relevant for the need that's happening in the market.
Also, just to second Sudeep's thought, if you look at hiring companies like us today, people think that IT hiring happens only in IT organizations. Uh, if you look at me as my own business, I provide IT professionals who are machine learning, artificial intelligence, in manufacturing, in pharmaceutical companies, like you rightly said, telecom organizations, where they do high level of OSS, BSS testing. So there is a huge amount of opportunity for being in IT industry, not just being in an IT company. So I think my appeal to all the youngsters is that don't have a mindset that IT jobs are only there in IT companies. There are many IT jobs available even outside the IT industry as well.
That's a great, very, very important thought that you brought out, Shiva. So definitely, completely two different perspectives, and an IT company is not only hiring IT talent, a non-IT company is ready to hire the IT talent as well, and vice versa for the non-IT roles. Thank you so much for bringing that up, both of you. I have a question from Milma Joseph. It says, I am a BCA graduate and very passionate to get into a software engineer role. I have learned things from YouTube and have done my project in Android Studio with my own effort. I am currently working with White Hat for a good salary, but I still want to achieve something more. Can you give me some guidance on this? Maybe Sudeep?
Yeah, so if you're looking at White Hat, you're looking at a lot more of visualization and things on those lines. Pursue it, and I don't know what if there is enough opportunity for you to do what you want to do in the organization that you're working in. It is there. See, one more thing. Always, I keep telling, right? A lot of even our own employees keep learning, right? And they say, okay, and I've learned. can you find a role for which I have learned and change me to that role? I say, why would I want to change you to another role where you can apply your learning? Because if you have learned something and you're doing a role and you find, you'll first and foremost, you look if that unit that you're working for, is there opportunity for you to apply that knowledge, right? See, for example, if I'm in HR and I'm learning about something in, say, behavioral science, right? The first one will say, okay, no, you change me into a different department for me to do behavioral. No, I can maybe use that for my team or a set of people that I work for. So I should be able to apply that and look for opportunities in my own area where I think it's a common problem. And this is something that I can actually fix by having learned these things. And that is how you should always look. So be very aware, be curious, talk to your leaders, talk to your colleagues, and say, okay, what is that we can collectively try to solve or elevate the current things that we do to a transformative stage where we have a competitive advantage from our things. And digital enables that competitive, technology enables that competitive advantage. And that's how I would say we should use this knowledge. That would be my advice in terms of how learnings are. Every learning is so important, and using that learning to look for opportunities and actually putting them to use and making that transformation is the key to constantly progress your organization and yourself as an individual in your career.
Also, just to second Sudeep's thought, I forgot the gentleman's name. Probably what you can always try is that if you have an adjacent skill that you think you've developed and you want to implement it, you can always join a gig platform. Off late gig platforms are giving you those opportunities where you can explore your technological skills, where they will give you projects outside your scope of work or based on the skills that you have learned. So there are many gig platforms that are evolving in India. Probably you can try some of the gig platforms which will give you a project and you can execute in your skills and see where you stand based on the competency that you have learned.
Thank you for your inputs, both of you. Thank you. So my last question to both of you, and a very important one: how important are soft skills? Can you share some soft skills that are required in the IT industry, and how do you assess the job seekers on these parameters during an interview? Shiva, maybe we can start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take 3-4 minutes to answer this question because it's very important to have soft skills. Why I would tell you, fundamentally, if you have a better soft skills, you'll be able to accurately convey the business value of the IT projects. That's most important thing. If I was to list some of the communication or soft skills, I would say communication is the key. Analytical abilities is one more soft skill. Creativity or project management and problem solving ability is one more skill what today organizations are looking at. And flexibility, I think these are some of the skills what youngsters have to learn. How do I assess? For example, let's say I've very recently done a campus in one of the prestigious MBA colleges in India, and I was part of the panelists because I was hiring them for my own organization. What I have done basically to assess soft skill is that one is that we do a structured interview process to assess the soft skills. We start with a good starting point on assessing the hard skill, and we ask them behavioral questions and ask them for relevant examples to assess some of the soft skills there. And we also ask some situational questions. For example, one of the question I asked is how do you put a giraffe in the fridge? So normally what happens is that how do I put a giraffe? People might think, oh, the fridge is so small and a giraffe is so big, I can't put the giraffe in the fridge. But the answer is just open the door and put the giraffe. So it's like that. It's how you go back, analyze your analytical skills. How do you have your good communication skills? Do you have creativity in the role that you're applying? So these are some of the things normally organizations are assessing. And my dear friends, it's very important. Apart from the technology skills that you have, it's very important to stay. If you want to stay relevant in the IT industry, it's very important to have soft skills. That's all I have at this point of time.
Thank you, Shiva. Sudeep, you have something to add to it.
Yes, to complement from where Shiva mentioned, right? Students, see, this is it, right? See, look at it. Today, the life expectancy, right? Let's go a little broader. A life expectancy of all of us, which used to be traditionally, right? Maybe not our parents, our grandparents, for example, right? My grandparents, okay. I'm old. I shouldn't. Yeah. Okay. Being so it is my grandparents. It was like 60, 70, right? Today, average life expectancy is to 80, 90, which means today a lot of our academics that if you finish on 21 years, you still have 60 years out there of at least very meaningful professional life, right? And I'm telling you, if I started my when I was in college, there was no mobile phones, right? I mean, we only had a landline and things like that. So, and in this last things of 25 years that I've done, I mean, the amount of change that I have to embrace was phenomenal, and I continue to do that, right? To keep relevant and be employed, right? So that's super important. So look at I'm only excited about what is going to be the amount of changes that all of you are going to see. So the I think many of us have to continuously do maybe many more graduation in every 15 years, right? So if I have to say, you should be focusing to say that you do another graduation in engineering 15 years from now, and then do another one 15 years now, because you have more of say 60 years of career. That's how you should look at it. So 4 more soft skills. I mean, what you have done today doesn't matter. It is very timely. It may be relevant 5 years from now, that the knowledge that you have, right? Or 10 years from now, they are foundationally strong, but in application. So first and foremost, learning has to be embraced. Lifelong learning and that aptitude that you demonstrate, right, becomes paramount important, because that's what is going to keep you relevant, right? That is super important. And does second, being curious, because if you are going to be lifelong learning, you got to be curious, so you understand what's happening, and curiosity becomes very, very critical, because then you are more embarrassed, because there's so many changes are happening so fast. Third thing, being bold, right? Because it is not a very definitive world. The change is today, what is there 3 months back, gone. You ought to be bold. Being bold, I'm talking about is I have to have a definitive answer for everything, and only then I will make my next move. Not going to get us anywhere. My intuition says, I believe this is good, I'm going to jump in, and I'll figure it out in the next time. That's the boldness and courage. Never fail, never hesitate to fail, right? Because if you have never failed in life, you have never done anything new. It's very important. Huh? I mean, you have to keep, I mean, you have to done. I mean, some people who have tried new things are the ones who have failed, right? So be bold and never hesitate to fail. That's very critical. And the last and foremost, like I said, there is no shortcut to be successful other than hard work, right? Trust me, every one of us will sign to it. So these are very simple, but very important, in my opinion, for you to sort of embrace, beyond what just Shiva mentioned, to be very successful and have a very pleasant and enjoyable career ahead, right? That is very important. And to, when I said enjoyable, love what you do, right? You should enjoy. You should not be pushed to go and do that. That is very important. So you should be very passionate, and always pick up a career that you're passionate about and it means to you. So don't do that because someone tells you, or your friend does it, or your girlfriend or your boyfriend picks it up. Do because you're passionate, because you're going to spend a long time of your career, maybe twice what you have done, lived so far in this professional career, so that you pick them very wisely.
Just to also add to what Sudeep has said, one last point to all my young friends is that learn that change is constant in life, and I think change is constant in life, and that's something very, very, very important. Otherwise, me and Sudeep, if you have not embraced change, people would have replaced us long ago.
Correct. Very true.
So true, so true. Thank you so much. I'm sure our audience will come out bolder, will become more aware, will accept change, and will come out of their comfort zones. Thank you so much for all the insightful thoughts that you've shared with us today. It has been a wonderful session and a wonderful evening with you all today. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mudita. You've been a fantastic host as well. Thank you very much.
You've been a fantastic host. Look forward. Thanks, Sudeep. We'll catch up.
Yes, definitely.